So we have Mary Glenn here from Brightpick. If you guys are on LinkedIn at all, I'm sure you've seen her face around there. Definitely, I certainly have. So Mary, welcome to the booth here and Home Delivery World. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, Kevin. Appreciate you inviting me on, and I'm excited we can finally connect here on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been going back and forth on LinkedIn and stuff before, so it's great to connect in person. So tell us a little bit about, for those that are watching or listening that are not familiar with Brightpick, tell us a little bit about Brightpick.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brightpick is a autonomous mobile robot. We are providing fulfillment automation for those that have both split case as well as each pick environments. So unique from some of the other, more well-known systems in the market, ours is the only one that actually has a robotic picking arm directly on the robot. So all of the picking happens robotically in the aisle. Orders are consolidated right there. So, whether you're decoupling a human from the picking aspect, or if you're already using a robotic picking arm, there's no more traveling to and from a static location. So really, helping to deliver not only the labor savings, but the efficiency of having everything built in aisle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got a chance to see it at ProMat, and it's really fascinating. I mean, the way that it works, and like you said, the uniqueness about it is that while it's retrieving that tote, it's also doing the pick within the same apparatus, same system. So I'm curious, like, what was the thinking behind combining those two tasks or processes together?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there are so many great, automated providers in the market right now, and they all have found kind of, for lack of a better term, their niche, right?
Yeah.
There's the more collaborative systems that are leading or, meeting humans in the aisle. There's ones that are more fully automated, and each one of them have a give or take. So I think when, Brightpick was founded, they really wanted to take the best of, all of those different versions, if you will, of an automated solution to try to create, a more cohesive system. So, not only are you getting the flexibility of an AMR, you're getting the robotic picking, and then you're also getting the ability to also optimize your storage and capacity as well.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think it's so smart, and I think the thing that's interesting about it too is the flexibility of the system as well. Which you mentioned, there's so many automation robotic solutions out there on the market, and some of them are a little rigid in the sense of how they're retrieving totes and things of that nature. Whereas your Brightpick can be utilized with pretty much any type of kind of shelving that may already exist, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We use really standard shelving. So whether it's ones that we are supplying for the operations or ones that we are already utilizing from their existing facilities, the biggest thing for us is, our mast or the retrieval of the totes can go up to about 10 feet. So as long as we're under that 10 feet, we're able to utilize existing shelving, which makes, the overall price of the solution a lot more viable, especially for smaller and medium-sized businesses that maybe are new to automation. It gives them the ability to take, kind of sweat the steel that's already in their buildings, get more out of the overall solution.
Interesting. I like that. Sweat the steel. That's a good term. I like that. So, very interesting stuff, obviously, and very smart solution as well. And now you recently just had a customer deployment in the U.S., right? First one?
Yeah.
Right?
So we just had our first U.S. deployment in Hebron, Kentucky. So we are working with a 3PL called NetRush, and handling their, fulfillment operations through that facility. And what's unique is, we have the live operation on one side of the building, and then right next door, we actually have our demo and our testing lab. So we're going to be doing tours, throughout July as well as September for people to come and see both the live application, which utilizes our goods to person application, as well as our auto pickers right next door. So you'll get to see kind of, the value of both of those solutions and how they intertwine.
Interesting. Yeah, and the new warehouse loves tours, right? So we're gonna try and get down there to Kentucky and have a little bourbon and see a little Brightpick too, I think. So I'm curious, with this 3PL that you mentioned, NetRush. I mean, why did they choose to go with Brightpick? I mean, what solution were they trying to resolve, or what problem were they trying to resolve?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a couple different reasons for NetRush. They were really looking for a solution that enabled them to start where they needed to and scale as the business continues to grow. So, there's so many solutions out there that are very scalable.
Yeah.
But I think for the Brightpick solution, this was one that, again, enabled them to not only optimize the fulfillment, but also the storage within the facility as well. And they're doing a lot of retail replen as well throughout that facility.
Okay.
So really enabling them to, kind of utilize the system for multiple applications that they're handling every single day.
Very interesting, and I think it's really interesting too because you look at the solution and that kind of flexibility and the piece pick aspect to it that it's able to do, and it really gives you that flexibility to be able to, like you said, do different things like retail replenishment versus piece pick for e-commerce or something of that nature. So I mean, how are you seeing the kind of the evolution of Brightpick since you started to introduce into the U.S. market? I mean, what has the reception been, and how are people reacting to this? I mean, it's a pretty different type of solution from a lot of what's out there, I would say. So, what's the reaction to it?
I think there's a kind of a wide array of reactions. I think for those that are well versed and well enmeshed in the automation space, they have deployed various automations systems, whether they're the more rigid systems or they're the more flexible. They really like that. Again, they're getting the best of both worlds with the Brightpick solution because they're able to scale and flex where they need to, but they're also able to get more density with the ASRS aspect of the solution. So that's one side of it. I think the other side too is for those, there's also a misconception for those that are new to automation, whether it's Brightpick or any other solution, is that, we're looking to replace humans. And that's, I don't know of any provider that's necessarily looking to replace humans.
Yeah.
Most operations are always going to need humans to operate. I think what we're looking to do is how do you take the labor that you have today and still meet the needs of your business, help them to be more productive in their day by allocating their time to more productive or useful tasks within the business, and not have to worry about, increases in your volume, whether that's peak or intraday or whatever that might be, to take away that reliance on labor so that your business is less risk averse, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good point, and it is still much of the conversation, is around that labor aspect, and especially a lot of people who are not quite understanding automation or robotics yet, and still having that fear that it's going to take my job, right? So in the deployment that you guys have done now at NetRush, I mean, how has that kind of allowed that to happen? Whether it's empowering the employees to have a higher level job or giving them a more comfortable work environment. I mean, how has that impacted the labor there?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the NetRush facilities specifically, they are able to get time back in their day because they're not having to travel out into the aisles. Because, for our goods to person applications, all of the robots are going to be feeding, whether it's one or many humans, work throughout the day.
Right.
So we're able to say, hey, looking across the data, looking across your historic, order volumes, you have a higher spike every single day at, between 3 to 5 because you have to get things out for your carrier. Maybe we have more humans ready to pick, during those times, but outside of those times, your associates are now able to focus on the replenishment aspect or the, packing out or, whatever else needs to be done so that you're not having to pick for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, and I think it's able to give you that flexibility in your labor resources too, as you mentioned there, and I think it's really smart to be able to do that, and I think we look at what Brightpick does, right? Move the tote out, pick a piece out of the tote. I mean, does a human really want to do that all day long? I don't think so, right? So it's giving them the chance to do something a little different and more flexible. So, what are you seeing as you're here at the show, or just in general in the industry that you think is kind of like one of the hottest topics right now?
For me, I mean, outside of robotics and automation and how to do, more with less and incorporating more technology into the business, a lot of the conversations that I'm having, especially, with business leaders, is how they can better manage and utilize their data, how they can use AI to become more intelligent, and to drive more proactive decisions through their business. And, there's been several, keynote speaker sessions about data and how to leverage that within the supply chain and how to optimize based on that information. So I would imagine that as AI becomes a more prevalent topic in the market as well, that thinking about how they not only utilize and incorporate more technology, but how they also can rethink their data and what their data is telling them to, think forward.
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's such a huge thing. I mean, even as you walk around, I mean, I think I've already counted like at least 5 companies that have AI in the name, right? So,
Yeah.
so I think it's such a huge thing. So it'd be interesting to see how that continues to evolve and kind of change our space a little bit. And I think in some aspects allow us to be a little more productive. I saw Nanad actually from the Ecom Logistics podcast and Fulfillment IQ gave a little talk, and he was talking about the productivity increase that AI allows you to do on certain different things. So it'd be really interesting to see how much faster that allows us to move, because as we know, our industry moves pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
It needs to move pretty fast. So very interesting having you here, Mary, and finally meeting in person, and definitely. We'll actually be having a Brightpick video from ProMap come out next week, I believe it is. So you'll be able to see that solution and what it looks like if you haven't yet. So if people want to learn more about Brightpick, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach out to myself directly. Again, as Kevin mentioned, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so would love to connect with anyone that's maybe watching the stream today or who are just more interested in learning about Brightpick. You can also reach out to me on my email. I will make sure that it's visible on my LinkedIn so you guys know how to get in touch, but would love to connect with you guys, answer any questions that you might have about Brightpick or just how to utilize automation within your existing warehouses.
All right, Mary from Delco, thanks for joining us
You're never going to let
today.
me live that down.
And we'll definitely follow her on LinkedIn. Absolutely, I would say great follow. And yeah, we'll put that information up for people to find easily as well. So enjoy the rest of your show.
Appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. It's good to meet you.
Great.